Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." And though these words were penned nearly 2,000 years ago, their relevance has only grown stronger in our modern world. We live in a time of constant noise, news feeds, social pressure, deadlines, expectations. The world tells us how to think, what to feel, and even who we should be. But what if you could step back? What if you could reclaim your mind, and with it your peace? This isn't about escaping the world. It's about rising above it. It's about finding calm within chaos. About mastering the only thing you ever truly had control over: your mind. This is what Stoicism offers us, a path not to perfection, but to presence. A mindset that allows us to navigate life with resilience, with gratitude, and with inner strength. This video isn't just a history lesson. It's about you, your mornings, your thoughts, your energy. It's about transforming the moment you wake up into a ritual of purpose. Not because life is easy, but because you are ready to face it with clarity. Imagine waking up each morning not with dread, but with a quiet fire inside you. A reason to rise. A reason that cuts through the fog of routine and makes life feel meaningful. There's a word for that. It's called Ikigai, a Japanese concept that means a reason for being. It sits at the intersection of four powerful forces: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. It might sound abstract, even idealistic, but when you think about it, this is exactly what the Stoics encouraged us to pursue. Marcus Aurelius didn't believe in drifting through life. He believed in contribution, in purpose, in living with integrity and intention. Finding your Ikigai isn't about having all the answers today. It's about asking better questions. What brings you alive? What strengths come naturally to you? Where can you serve the world? And how can that lead to something sustainable? These aren't questions to rush through. They're meant to be lived. And the process of searching, of exploring what matters to you, that's where the growth happens. And here's the beauty. When you live from that place of purpose, even the smallest acts carry weight. Making coffee in the morning, helping a stranger, writing that email. Each becomes a reflection of your deeper intention. Most people think a great morning starts when the alarm rings. But the Stoics would tell you, it begins the night before. It's tempting to binge-watch one more episode or scroll endlessly until your eyes blur. But here's the truth. The way you end your day shapes the way you begin the next. Stoicism is about intention, about living deliberately, not by default. And that means crafting an evening routine with purpose. Not out of restriction, but out of respect for your future self. Think of it this way. Your brain is not a machine that just shuts off. It needs space to settle, to process, to breathe. And by creating that space, reducing screen time, journaling, even a few minutes of quiet, you're telling your mind, it's okay to let go now. Try this tonight. Before bed, write down your top 3 priorities for tomorrow. Just 3. Not a full to-do list. This tiny act sends a powerful message that your day will begin with clarity, not chaos. Add in a moment of stillness, deep breathing, meditation, or silence. Not because it's trendy, but because it works. Because your mind needs a signal. It's time to rest. The Stoics knew we don't control everything that happens in a day, but we can control how we meet the day. And that starts with how we prepare for it. Picture this. Your alarm goes off. But instead of reaching for your phone, you reach for presence. No emails. No notifications. No news. Just you, your breath, and the quiet promise of a new day. In today's always-on world, this might feel radical. But to the Stoics, it's simply logical. Marcus Aurelius didn't have a smartphone, but he had distractions, politics, wars, decisions that affected millions. Yet even he emphasized the power of focus. You have power over your mind, not outside events. So what if you claimed the first 30 to 60 minutes of your morning as sacred? Time just for you, before the world gets a say. It could be reading something nourishing, journaling your thoughts, meditating, or simply drinking your coffee in stillness. This isn't about rejecting technology. It's about not letting it own your mind. When we check our phones first thing in the morning, we instantly shift into reaction mode, letting others set the tone for our day. But if we delay that moment just a little, we reclaim control. We start the day from within, not from noise. And that shift, though subtle, creates a ripple effect that shapes how we think, feel, and act for the rest of the day. The quality of your attention determines the quality of your life. So give your mornings the respect they deserve. Make them yours.
Let's be honest, waking up early isn't easy, especially when the bed feels warm and life outside feels uncertain. But discipline, that's where the Stoics thrived. To them, discipline wasn't punishment. It was freedom, a declaration that no matter what life throws at us, we respond, not react. We begin our day not at the mercy of chance, but guided by our own principles. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I am rising to do the work of a human being.'" Consistency, especially with something as simple as waking up at the same time, might seem small, but it builds something much greater, momentum. And over time, that momentum shapes your identity. Each morning you get up when you said you would, you reinforce a message. I keep my word. I lead my life, not the other way around. But let's not sugarcoat it. It's hard. You'll have days when the alarm rings and resistance wins. That's okay. The Stoics weren't perfect. They didn't expect perfection. What they practiced was perseverance. So set a time that aligns with your values. Prepare for it the night before. Make it easier on yourself. Use light sound routines. And when it gets tough, remind yourself of the bigger picture. This isn't just about mornings. It's about building a life with intention, one small decision at a time.
There will be mornings when you fail. You'll hit snooze. You'll break your streak. You'll feel like you've undone your progress. But here's what the Stoics knew. Failure is not the enemy. Harsh self-judgment is. Marcus Aurelius, in all his wisdom, didn't write to glorify his success. He wrote to remind himself daily of his flaws, his distractions, his humanity. And yet, he always returned to the path. That's the essence of Stoicism. It's not about being perfect. It's about coming back, again and again, to what matters. With humility, with patience, with grace. So when you fall short, don't spiral into guilt. Don't label yourself as lazy or weak. Instead, take a breath. Step back. Ask, what happened? What can I learn? And how can I show up better tomorrow? Self-compassion isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's understanding that growth is not a straight line. That some mornings will test you, and that's okay. What matters is that you continue the practice. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're cultivating inner strength. And that includes learning how to be kind to yourself when the journey gets hard. What if I told you that making your bed each morning could change your life? Not because it's productive, not because someone told you to, but because it's a declaration, a silent ritual of order, discipline, and self-respect. The Stoics believed that how we do anything is how we do everything. That even the smallest act, if done with intention, could be a form of virtue. When you make your bed, you're not just tidying up. You're sending a message to yourself. My environment matters. My actions matter. I show up, even in the little things. And here's the magic of it. These rituals build momentum. They prime your mind for clarity. They remind you that even if you can't control everything in your life, you can control this one act, this one moment. It could be making tea, lighting a candle, writing one line in a journal. The ritual doesn't have to be big. It just has to be yours. Something that grounds you, anchors you, Marcus Aurelius didn't talk about bedsheets or coffee mugs, but he did speak of presence, intention, and duty. These rituals, however small, are modern expressions of ancient truths. Because it's not the act itself that matters most. It's who you're becoming through that act. Self-discipline is powerful, but discipline supported by community. That's transformative. The Stoics spoke often of friendship, not just as comfort, but as a mirror for our character. They believed that virtue grows stronger when shared, when reflected, when held accountable. That's where an accountability partner comes in. Someone you trust. Someone who knows your goals. Someone who reminds you of who you said you wanted to become, even when your motivation slips. Think of them as your ally in growth. They're not there to judge you. They're there to walk beside you, to ask how your mornings are going, to remind you why you started when you forget. And in return, you do the same for them. Because this isn't just about waking up early or checking boxes. It's about building a life, together, with honesty, support, and shared effort. Even the great Roman emperors had mentors and counselors. Marcus Aurelius had Rusticus. Seneca had Lucilius. They exchanged letters, ideas, reflections. They grew together. So find someone who gets it. A friend, a sibling, a colleague. Share your goals. Set check-ins. Celebrate the small wins. Talk about the hard parts. Because when your journey is witnessed, it becomes real. When your struggles are shared, they become lighter. And when your purpose is spoken out loud, it becomes something you're far more likely to live. As the day ends and the world quiets down, there's one final practice the Stoics would urge us not to forget: gratitude. It's simple, but powerful. Before sleep, take a few moments to reflect. What went well today? What small joys did you experience? What challenge did you meet with courage? Write it down. Not for Instagram, not to impress, but for yourself. This act rewires your mind away from lack toward appreciation, away from frustration toward perspective. The Stoics taught us to focus on what we have, not what we lack. Seneca wrote, "He is most powerful who has power over himself." Gratitude is one way we reclaim that power. And when we end the day with this awareness, something beautiful happens. We sleep lighter, we wake up clearer, and we begin to see that joy isn't something we chase, it's something we notice. So as you lay down tonight, pause. Breathe. Be thankful. Not because everything went perfectly, but because you lived, you tried, and you're still growing. This is what it means to live stoically, not without feeling, but with depth. Not without struggle, but with meaning. A life of presence, of purpose, of peace. And now, if you've made it this far, thank you. You're not like most people. You're seeking something deeper. If this message resonated with you, explore more. Watch our Stoic Wisdom playlist right here. Subscribe, share, and join us on this journey toward living intentionally, one powerful morning at a time. Here's to stillness, to strength, to mornings that shape the rest of your life. See you in the next one. What if each morning you remembered that this day, this very one, might be your last? That's not meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. The Stoics practiced Memento Mori, remembering death, not to live in fear, but to live with urgency, clarity, and depth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." Because when we're aware that our time is limited, our priorities sharpen. We stop wasting our mornings on things that don't matter. We stop putting off the important conversations, the real work, the joy. This awareness doesn't have to be heavy. It can be liberating. It frees us from trivial distractions and reminds us of what truly matters: relationships, growth, virtue, kindness. So as you open your eyes tomorrow, ask yourself, if today was your last, how would you want to show up? Would you speak more gently? Listen more deeply? Create with more courage? Would you live less on autopilot and more with intention? That's the power of Memento Mori. Not to fear death, but to honor life. To live fully now in this moment. Because this moment is all we truly have.